Good morning. Welcome to Legacy Senior Living. We're so excited that you're here. I'd like to introduce you to our administrator, Katie Dickey.
Hi.
And we're here to show you our mission where we're working to improve the aging experience through the comfort of home. This journey started back in February of 2019 when we met a gentleman by the name of Gene Garino who founded Rolla. And he just had such a big vision. And so we went out in October of 2019 and went to go tour and experience some of Gene's homes and the Rolla Academy. And that's really where this concept started. So if you'd like, why don't we take you inside, and we'd like to show you what makes residential assisted living special and what makes the Legacy experience unique. We're now inside Legacy Senior Living, and we are a 4,200 square feet home. And when did we open, Katie?
We opened in July of 2023.
And so what you'll notice when you come in here is it's very different than some of the larger facilities that are available here in Oklahoma City. One of the things that we learned really from the Rolla Academy, and one that we like to highlight when we're giving a visit of Legacy, is that we highlight that it's an experience and not really a tour. So we're very unconventional, and we're unconventional in the approach that we take to assisted living, because folks, our biggest competition is people want to maintain their autonomy, and we want to walk with them on that journey. And so instead of saying, hey, come tour Legacy, what we do is we invite them to come have an experience, and that's what we want to show you today. So the first thing that we do when folks come in is they're generally in a couple different phases of the journey. Some are in crisis mode where they've had a bad experience and they're now in skilled nursing or they're leaving a hospital. Some are just interested in education and they're learning to understand a little bit more about it. And there's some that are kind of in that Goldilocks scenario that are just in the middle. But what we do is first we invite them in, and you saw kind of how when you walk up, there's just a normal home feel. And we're just a 4,200 square foot house in a very nice neighborhood in North Oklahoma City. And then we sit them down and we just have a conversation here in these chairs. And we just like to understand a little bit about what the family is looking for, what their experience is with assisted living, and where they're at in the journey. And so then after we have a short conversation and we understand their needs, we explain some of the things that make our home unique. So do you want to talk just a little bit about why a home is set up to be maybe a little bit better experience for assisted living?
Yes, so one of the unique things about this home is the short hallways and the distance from the residence room to the common areas, which we'll show you here in a minute. Residents who are struggling with any kind of dementia on a level of progression from mild to severe will have an easier time adjusting to a shorter walk from their room to the dining room, so that way they can build community and eat at a dining room table with their peers and their housemates. And I
think on top of that, it helps because they don't get as worn out going to the table for meals. And in addition, like we've had residents who need a little bit of assistance, and our caregivers have a much better experience providing care because of our low care ratios, and they don't have to run down a 100-foot hallway while another resident 300 feet down on the other side of the facility is asking for help as well. So it just creates this nice, cozy, warm feeling that is very conducive to helping improve our staff have a better experience caring for the residents. And not only that, our residents tend to have a much nicer experience once they're here and they can start to feel comfortable in the home. One of the things that's really important to residents and us is that if you're experiencing some form of dementia, there's often a cognitive benefit to just experiencing music and having community. And so one of the things that Katie does a great job about is coordinating with different musicians in the community, and we'll play some music and have entertainers come in, and we just have a nice community event right here in this living room. Mm-hmm. So why don't we come show you a room and let you see a little bit about what makes our rooms unique and why they actually feel like home.
Let's go.
So Katie, tell me a little bit about what room we're in here.
So we're here in one of the residence rooms, and all the rooms, because it's in a house, they're shaped differently. They all have their own unique character, as opposed to another place where you get a very square layout and very similar to your neighbor's room down the hall. But all the rooms in this house are different sizes. They're nice sizes. They all have their own private closet. And all the rooms in this house, except 2, have their own private bathroom. And so they're large enough to accommodate a bed and a seating area and a television. A lot of our residents have their own televisions, but with our environment we create here, everyone tends to end up in the living room next to the kitchen and the dining room table, where all the chaos and commotion of the day goes on, and it's good chaos and commotion. It's the aides making dinner or doing dishes, and that's familiar to our residents, because that's what they learned at home. And so that's something that makes us unique.
Yeah, so a couple things to point out here in this room is you can see that our residents have a little button where they can call for the caregiver to come, and the rooms are fairly large so that the residents, like Katie mentioned, have their own seat, but this gives them a private area with their families where they can sit, talk, have a conversation, and just catch up. And families feel relieved because Katie, as a physician assistant and as the administrator, does a good job of helping coordinate the care across primary care, any specialist, and home care and hospice, so that she can help allow those families to just spend time with their loved one rather than having to chase down all these different silos of care. So what we do is we've got a partnership with a local moving company. It's right on our website, www.legacyseniorhomes.com. And they can go out there, and there's a 3D map that we use some technology to take 3D imaging of the home. And so they can take a virtual tour of the home and actually visualize how their things would look like in the room. And so then that company, for about $450, will actually go to wherever their belongings are and move their belongings into this room. And then we will offer to mount the TV for them, and we'll even purchase a TV on their behalf and help them set up photos and things of that nature onto the screens, if that's something that the family would like us to do. So we just try to go a little bit extra mile to reduce those barriers for the family so that it's not as challenging and there's less things that they have to coordinate when they're moving through such a challenging time in their life. So why don't we show you the bathroom and a few of the things that makes these rooms unique. We only have actually 2 rooms that don't have their own bathroom. So most residents have their own bathroom. The bathrooms are varying sizes, but you can see here that it enables us to have a wheelchair, to have access to the sink. They've got a toilet with some bars so that they can have assistance getting up and down. And one of the things that you'll see here in just a little bit, we'll point out some of our fall detection pucks so that we respect our residents' privacy, but we have fall detection pucks both in the bathrooms and in the room, so that we always encourage residents to ask for help, but it's inevitable, and we believe in autonomy. And so the residents, while we encourage them to have help and support, and we round often, should a resident come into the restroom on their own, we have these fall detection pucks on the wall, such that if there ever was an issue, our caregivers know it immediately, and we can actually time the response from the time that maybe an incident might happen here in the bathroom to the time that the caregiver can take action and support that resident. So that's something that makes us very unique as opposed to other facilities where the residents may or may not have their own bathroom, and there is definitely not individualized and personalized pucks, so that there's that identification should a resident go into that bathroom on their own and have an issue. But you can see here we've got some clever storage design where the resident can have some of their own personal belongings. We provide all the towels. Katie, why don't you show them a little bit about the shower?
So each shower has a seat so that the residents can sit down comfortably to have a shower, and then all the shower heads are mobile so that it can go to varying degrees, and it also allows us to just hand the resident the shower head so they can wash themselves if they are still capable, aiming to help them maintain as much autonomy as possible. There's also our grab bars installed, and then a little toiletry window so that we have access to their shampoo and conditioner.
All right, well, let's go look at a few of the other rooms and a few of the other features.
Our houses have a salon room for the residents to come in and enjoy having their hair done, either by a professional, but also on their shower days. The aides love to come in here, turn on some music, and make it a whole experience for the residents. And they do their hair, they curl their hair, and put their makeup on, and it's just a wonderful, lively, exciting time for the residents, and an experience for them that they wouldn't get to otherwise experience. So one of the unique things about Oklahoma is our weather. And in the springtime, we have a heightened increase of tornadoes. And so one of the very unique things in our houses are F5, so the highest intensity tornado approved storm shelters. And they're walk-in, so all the residents can walk in. Nobody has to go down any stairs, and it decreases the risk of falls. And this room is steel. And so when it was installed, we had to lift it up with a crane into the house, and the door bolts, and it's also got emergency lighting, and it is sprinkled with our fire suppression system as well. So it's very safe, and it is able to hold up to 22 people in this room, and that helps increase the safety of our staff and our residents.
Yeah, it's something that families find very comforting, because it's not something that you really need very often, but it's nice to know that it's here should you need it. So anyways, this is a big piece of comfort that we can offer families and their loved ones, to be able to live in a house but have some of the amenities that promote safety and autonomy.
So right now we are in the space that most everybody hangs out. It's the dining room, the living room, and the kitchen. And our aides do all the cooking here. They follow a menu that I come up with our registered dietitian. She looks over it and signs off on the recipes. A lot of the recipes are homemade, which is another unique feature of our home. We don't order from a big, large vendor, so we get all of our food at Walmart and Sam's and Crest, which is a local grocer here in Oklahoma City. And so it's made from scratch. And in general, most of the residents enjoy the food and love the food. And plus to that is that the registered dietitian signs off on the menus to certify that they are meeting the dietary guidelines for seniors. So.
And this room is just a wonderful room, because there's always a lot of energy. As you can see, we have coffee in the mornings. The residents will play games around the table. Just a few weeks ago, we did Easter egg decorations. We'll go and sit on the patio, and we'll open the door when it's nice. And so you've just got a lot of energy, and we love the open concept to where families can come in and sit on the couch, watch TV with a loved one. And then our caregivers are wonderful, and they are here out in the open, talking and hanging out and spending time with the residents, but also cooking and just sharing life. One of the things that our residents and families love about Legacy is we give them a pair of sunglasses when they move in, and they often will come back here on the back patio and just sit and lounge. And we've planted flowers just a few weeks ago. Sometimes we just sit and reflect. And we often take walks around the block. So we spend a lot of time outside as much as we can, and we find that the sun is very therapeutic and warming. And there's just something about being in nature that is peaceful. So
we also have bird feeders with bird seed, so the birds often are out and about early in the morning. There's squirrels and rabbits and roadrunners and all kinds of critters that the residents enjoy just sitting and watching. And it's also nice and quiet out here. So it's just very peaceful and calming and a wonderful place to be.
All right, thank you so much for visiting Legacy Senior Living. We're so excited that you came to experience a little bit about what makes residential assisted living unique and part of our journey to improve the aging experience through the comfort of home. This journey would have never been possible without the Rolla Academy, and we can't thank them enough for the support that they've offered through monthly calls. We've gone to RalNatCon. We have a local meetup here where we meet once a month and we talk about residential assisted living, some of the challenges both in the industry that families have and from an operations and caregiving process. And so we just can't thank the Rolla Academy enough for the support, the resources, the back office that they've provided us to help us move from A to B. And it really warms our heart to be able to serve the families and to see some of the testimonials that we get from families about how Katie has been able to walk alongside them and support them through this challenging time. So thank you for coming. We hope that you enjoyed the visit, and we look forward to seeing you in the future. The demand has been huge. We've already had to open our second home, and we've got our third under construction. So come back soon, and we look forward to seeing you again.